We're too worried about things that could possibly be messed up or damaged or X, Y, and Z. Sometimes God is calling us into that place, into that atmosphere where He wants to touch on those things that you're trying to avoid. He wants to touch and rearrange, refine those things that you want to hold so dear to you. You don't want God to touch it. God is calling some of us out into the rain, out into what looks like the storm, out into the deep end. The deep end is full of unknowingness. And some of you are asking and praying to go higher, but you don't want to do the necessary steps that it takes. So would you be willing to thrust into that storm, into that rain that God is calling you to?
Here we are, grand and rising. Grand rising.
Grand Rising! Here we are, Grand and Rising, on this beautiful and blessed Willing Wednesday Rising. Y'all, I look crazy because the Lord wanted to rain down today, okay? Unexpectedly. And it was a summer rain. I love, love, love summer rains when the sun is shining bright, but heaven is raining down. It is such a beautiful sight to see, but it's also so beautiful to just be in the midst of it. I know a lot of people just like, I don't like what my sister, Pinky, big up yourself. She absolutely hates feeling wet, and I get that. I hate feeling like damp, wet. It just makes you feel sticky and all these things. But I was in the grocery store and I came out, and before I went into the grocery store, it was sunny. It was hot, all the things. And then when I come out, it's still sunny, still hot, but it's raining. And instead of me just waiting at the door till the rain passed because I'm trying to avoid getting wet or I'm trying to avoid my hair or whatever, I said, I'm just going to walk in the midst of I'm going to walk into this thing and full joy it and embrace it. This may be a word for some of us in our current season or current life. Sometimes it looks like it's raining and we're more focused on avoiding being wet or avoiding something getting messed up, whether it be our hair, our clothes. I'm speaking literally, but I want you to catch this in the spirit, metaphorically, right? Or figuratively. We're too worried about the things that could possibly be messed up or wet or damaged or X, Y, and Z. And sometimes God is calling us into that place, into that atmosphere where He wants to touch on those things that you're trying to avoid to be touched. He wants to touch and rearrange and refine those things that you want to hold so dear to you, but you also want to be great. You also want to succeed in those areas, but you don't want God to touch it. God is calling some of us out into the rain. God is calling some of us out into what looks like the storm. God is calling some of us out into the deep end. And we know that the deep end is full of unknowingness, is full of, things that we don't know of. And as humans, our human nature, if we don't know it, we're not sure. And if we're not sure, we're not secure in that thing. So we would stay put. We're fine where we at. We'll stay right where we are. But God is calling some of us higher, 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 higher. Some of you are asking and praying to go higher, but you don't want to do the necessary steps that it takes. So will you be willing today to thrust into thrust? Yes, go look up that word. You got homework. Go look up the word thrust. What does thrust mean? And today's not thrusting Thursday, but it's pre-thrusting Thursday. Today's willing Wednesday. Would you be willing to thrust into that storm, into that rain that God is calling you to? The rain looks like something that's going to hinder you or going to set you back, but the rain is actually something that's going to pour into you. So the places and the areas in your life that needs to flourish will flourish, but it needs the rain. Just like the plants cannot thrive unless it gets sun, it gets wind, and it gets rain. Beloved, you may have been getting sun in areas of your life. You may have only been getting wind in areas of your life, but you need all three and you cannot avoid the rain. So I love you guys. This was for somebody and somebody's going to get this. I pray you guys take this and do with it what you will according to the will of God on your life. I love you and I'll see you on tomorrow's Thrusting Thursday Rising.
Grand rising.